Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Welcome.
Oh, is it better from my phone?
I mean, it sounds good to me. What does everyone else think? People are
I
saying
guess
way better.
way better. Yeah?
Yay.
Yeah. I think from the laptop it's not like suboptimal. I guess I thought like the phone is actually made for speaking rather than scrolling on TikTok, but yeah, TikTok, fuck.
Cool.
While I was in quarantine, I found out that TikTok actually is a problem. So it's a
I've never.
disaster. It's a disaster, that thing.
I'm too boomer for that.
No, just try. No, actually, don't try. Don't try. It's really disastrous. Like you can just your brain just melts. Basically, you just keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and just boom, boom, boom. Fucking idiotic video for hours. It's just a constant feed of idiocy. It's amazing, amazing. Mm. So
Yeah.
maybe let's wait 5 minutes for
Yep.
everyone to be able to join. Yeah.
Are you feeling better then?
I mean, this Corona, I didn't take a Corona till now, actually.
Mhm.
And I don't know. Like it just wasn't super strong, but it's not the best thing ever. To be frank, I would
Yeah.
have preferred to not take it. But yeah, it's what it is. So still coughing, still a little bit tired and all of that. But yeah, I guess most of people here had it. I think so. Everybody know how it is. So
Yeah.
yeah, we will survive. Also the corona, everything. This year really fucking bullshit. I I actually meet with Sifu today, and I was like, yo, what the fucking here? What's going on? It's just down only. Like when you think it can get worse, it just gets worse. At least
I
for
know.
me.
I
Yeah.
feel like we've been saying that every year for the past couple years, like since 2020. Just like the next year has to be better than this one, right?
Yeah, right.
Always something
That's the
crazy.
issue. But I think I think the worst part was like getting out of one thing and just getting looped in into another problem. For me, uh like as soon as we were starting to become normal again after the Sifu gate and all that drama and all the fun and everything, like it kind of went domino effect, and then like I was like, okay, starting to get better, and then the Ukraine war, so my family was in trouble. I had to
Yeah.
deal with it, and some of our devs and my friends and all that stuff, and all the who I call the refugees at this point. So I got all the refugees in and all that stuff, and my wife, family, and so on. So was then when this thing was starting to get better, then the starting to dump all the market, and then the USD situation, fucking incredibly bullshit,
Yeah.
and yeah, here we are. I don't know what is coming next, but I hope that I feel like I'm scraping the bottom at this point. Like how much lower can it go? So it's
Yeah.
kind of refreshing. Like it's starting to be refreshing. And like I can't see anything can't be worse. So it can only be better.
That's
So that's my kind of attitude at the moment. So
well, good. That's a positive one.
yeah, exactly. Like I'm pretty positive. That's why. Then I got corona. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I'm positive. I'm very positive. I feel like is in these times in which everyone is kind of like vibing in a different direction, and everybody's starting to feel like there's gonna be a bear market. There is when the actual opportunity starts, and the reason why we have made Wonderland was to also enable all the people in the DAO to make good investments, right? To buy assets that at a good price, no? And
Right.
I feel like this time has come. Slowly, it's coming, right? And the fact that we have decided to sell, for example, I've sold all the Avalanche before $75 and all that stuff because I was waiting for this dip to happen, and we sold also the Ether and the WBTC more recently with Maza, when we have been looking into it, right? And yeah, now we have bought some. I have to say that the trades that we have done more recently, and then I will talk about the UST kind of drama situation, but are exactly the same trades that I have done. It's like there is no difference. Like I bought myself Bitcoin, I bought myself Ether, I bought myself Matic, I bought myself UST. Unfortunately. and that's kind of like I was feeling like it was a good idea, starting to move towards more directional engagement of the treasury. As the assets become cheaper, it becomes relatively good to look into it. At the end of the day, we need to look at sort of an average price for wmemo, and I put that target around $110,000 per wmemo, and my target is at least reach that plus profit by the end of the year, right? So I know that most of the people that are in this call and most of the people that have wmemo right now pretty much are good, right?
Right.
So that's the target number one. And you need to have like an idea of which price point you want to arrive, right? And this is pretty much, I would argue, like a 2x, 2x, 2.5x, which with the right directionality, the right market conditions, and smart management of this directionality is definitely achievable. We have seen much more achievement in other ways, but that's kind of like the direction that we are looking at, right? And that's what people is here for. At the end of the day, like I'm always the type of guy that it's very open and always says what it is. I don't think that it's impossible. I think that it's doable. Of course, it does require certain market conditions, certain things to happen. But I mean, if we're smart, we can kind of take some of that in our own hands and making good investment, and some other like hope for the market to turn, right? As long as we buy the asset in a good price range relatively to the current status of the world economy, then I think that we are pretty well off. I have thought a lot about what to buy in general, also for my personal positions. That apart, of course, of Spell, wmemo, ICE, which are for me things that I always keep in my wallet. But I've really thought about what to do now, right? Like the world economy doesn't look very good. The world doesn't look good at all. And you can, after the UST drama, and I feel like the general confidence on stablecoins and in general on DeFi has been dropping quite a lot, because a lot of people have been holding UST almost like a savings account.
Yeah.
And I can tell you a little bit of story of something that happened, just to give a little bit of context. Like I have purchased an apartment from a guy in crypto in Dubai, and the guy, I didn't hear from him for like months. And just recently, like 4 days ago, he wrote me a Telegram message, and he was like, "Yo, Daniele, what should I do?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" Like, I put all the money that you paid my apartment into UST, and that was on Anchor. Now it's not there anymore. Like, what happened? And I'm like, "Yo, yeah." I'm like, "Fuck," you know. I didn't tell him to do it, but still, this is the kind of impact, and this kind of took me very, like, this guy is not a crypto guy, like, he's not a big crypto guy at all, and the USD was kind of a safe thing for him to do, which
Right.
which is really the status of the industry right now, in which you don't know where you are at, right? Like, and what you think it's safe is not safe anymore. Then the USDT kind of briefly depegging, which was the most stupid thing I've seen in a very, very long time, right? And also liquidating some people that were leveraged on this position, and really, really not normal. And the whole kind of chaotic and completely nonsensical behavior of the market, to me, is a signal for starting to look into sense. And when things make sense into the nonsensical world, then you're doing a good job into buying something, and especially distressed assets. So
Yeah.
I've been really looking into what to do, and it comes up to me, for example, that there are certain commodities, for example, gold, that are interesting. I feel like there is a lot of uncertainty, and if you can't hold stablecoin, you might want to hold gold at this point in time. And I feel like this could be an interesting option.
Mm-hmm.
And to that, like, we have prepared some time ago, and never was the right time to launch it, with Abracadabra MIG, which I don't know if it's actually a good name at the moment with the war happening, but basically it was Magic Internet Gold, and that is launching in the next few days. I want to start re-steering and re-engaging into the attitude that we had last year, because to me, that is, the bull market, the bear market shouldn't change. Like, we need to get back on delivering on constantly every week, coming up with new things, and that kind of peace of mind and peace of delivery, and that have made, I think, all our products successful last year. It was because of that constant stream of hustle, that I feel like part of the team, and a little bit has been lost in the last 4 months. And I want to change that, and I want to come back into this mentality of, like, non-stop delivery, non-stop giving, hammering, and it needs to be like that. Like, there is no other option. When everybody is sleeping, we need to be hammering. Like, when everybody is awake, we need to be hammering. There shouldn't be, like, any case in which we are not doing 110% out of the capabilities that we have, because in terms of, like, ideas, building stuff, using the Lego that we have, using the software that we have, and the development that we have done, and all of that, like, the possibilities are endless. I don't know what kind of product will be successful out of all of this, but, like, there is kind of the situation of the large number, right? As long as it's not difficult to manage, and it does not require a specific business development department or anything, and it's pure technology, and it does make sense, it should be released. It should be released, and as long as also is safe, and it uses certain components of software that have been audited, that have been checked, and everything. I mean, it should be out there, right? And MIG have been ready for a while, but it never been released. And all this kind of stuff that have been done, we have been done for a while. They are not out there, so we need to take them out, and we need to really get back into this mentality of over delivering instead of under delivering. And I feel like in Wonderland is kind of the same, right? I've been under delivering in the recent month, and I want to move into over delivering again. And in that sense, we have the liquid staking that is coming. I have received a video 2 days ago of the whole thing working on testnet. So I'm very, very happy about that. I don't want to release it yet, but it's right there. So I think it's a part of our expertise, and And this, like, at the end of the day, like, everybody know, like, I might be decent into making directional bets or kind of read the market or these kind of things, but that's not my thing. Like,
Mhm.
it's I'm not a trader, I'm a builder, right? And
Right.
the maximum value that I can bring is bringing products. So that's also something that I wish to discuss with the community. That is like, how do we use also part of the treasury that we have to build products rather than just invest, right? What is the multiplier if we build also things on top of Wonderland that generate revenue over the course of time? And it might be a good idea to start doing that, because we find each other with a very large treasury at the end of the day that we has not been impacted by this downturn much. Like, we was mostly in cash position, and we are capable of doing investments into distressed assets and things that have high potential directionality, but also we can build, which is always the right attitude during the bear market, in my opinion. Build, build, build. Hmm. So this is kind of the things that come to my mind
Yeah.
at the moment, right? Like, how many things can we achieve with the money that we have that actually have a positive multiplier on the basic value of the token, which is what we should be doing. Another thing is, like, there have been a lot of I've been pushing a lot about Abra merger. I would
Mhm.
like to give a little bit of context into this, and make people understand what's my feelings in there, and what I think should be done, and how I think it should be done. Um, First of all, like, I call it merger, but doesn't have to be a merger. Like, I'm very open to what it can be done. Like, the essence is very clear. Like, I feel like there is a certain amount of money that, if given to Abracadabra a, as a product, as a protocol, it would really help Abracadabra to shine and stand up from the crowd. Like, Abracadabra has never raised money in with VCs, has never been like doing any type of capital increase or anything like that. And I think the time has come. Like, all the competitors, especially like MakerDAO and all these guys, constantly raise a lot of money, but they have not a better product than us. Like,
Right.
at this point, Magic Internet Money has proven to be probably one of the best stable coins in the world, because we have seen all sorts of scenarios, and they
Oh,
still
yeah.
survived very well. We've seen billions of volumes, record volumes on Curve. We have seen all sorts of things, and I guess that kind of the stage improving the tech is right there and has been done. The liquidation mechanism, which is the most important part of the protocol, in my opinion, it's working like a breeze. The collateralizations right now is good. We have moved away from the UST, and it has been a good call. So the risk management side of the protocol has been doing a good job, and I think it has matured to a stage in which it should go into a next target, right? And but there is a few points in which I'm not completely. I think money really help, right? And this is like emissions. Like, I'm not. I think that it's time to finish this emission kind of economy. Like, I'm not super positive on farming, token farming, and stuff like that, because I feel like that era of the bull market, it's over. I think we need to move towards a sustainable business that can generate a revenue and doesn't need to spend tokens or equity for being able to do so. And in this, sorry, in the case of Abracadabra, um, we have recently took the third spot, so we are the third protocol able to lock CRVs on Curve with Magic CRV, which was a big win for Abracadabra that kind of came unnoticed, but it's right there. It means that we can basically own a part of Curve, which could be a very good idea for investing money and maintaining the mission for a very long time. So the liquidity, because for Abracadabra to be able to grow, it requires a certain amount of liquidity that then is turned into profit. So how does the business model, and I think here we need to talk about like specifically business more than tech, right? And I think that everybody will understand more the business than the tech. So the business is the following. So we basically mint magic internet money. Magic internet money is a stable coin which value is minted at $1. So it's a debt. It represents debt. So someone comes to Abracadabra, wants to borrow money, wants to borrow dollars in this case, and the protocol gives you MIM at the price of $1 always. So if MIM goes up or down in value, your debt is always denominated in dollars. So you always need to repay your debt in dollars. And if the protocol, so if the coin on Curve, for example, depegs slightly, for example, 50 basis point or something like that, there is an interest for people to repay their debt because they have they buy the MIM cheaper than the dollar, so they have an arbitrage, and this system maintains the peg and the liquidity over in to basically always be collateralized, because it's always collateralized. So MIM is always over collateralized in this sense, because the amount of collateral that is used to mint MIM, it's always bigger than the value in dollar. If it's equal or lower, there is a liquidation ongoing. So the asset that mints the MIM goes out and gets sold, and what happens is that the MIM get bought and sent back to the protocol. So this system maintains stability. In the recent months, we have had a lot of movement of money, and one of the biggest critics that I had was that our interest rate is fixed. So there needs to be pegged further sometimes for someone to want to repay their debt, especially for specific cauldrons or markets in which the borrowing fee are very low or almost to zero. So to be able to fix that, we have thought a lot about it, and what we are going to do, there is a fix, and it's going to happen in the next weeks. It's because it needs to pass through governance. Is basically we're going to add the strategy on bento box, which is the layer in which the assets are deposited, in which it can create and charge a fee on top of the asset that is deposited. So all the markets, the current markets, become from fixed market to dynamic market, which is, I think, a very big improvement on the stability of the protocol. It's huge. And this also allows us to think a little bit more about business. So how does Abracadabra make money? So for every MIM that it's lended out, we make, of course, an interest rate, right? And I feel like the most important metric for understanding the health of the protocol or the potential of the protocol is the average interest rate earned out of the MIM outstanding. So if we have 1 billion MIM out there and we make an average of 1%, that's the money that the protocol certainly does. If we make 2%, then we doubled the amount of money that the protocol does. And this is very important because I've been shifting my mind big time from what it's mean to be successful in this protocol out of the TVL kind of era. Like last year, the TVL was such a big metric. Everybody cared about the TVL, how many billions you have deposited in your protocol. I think we need to transition out of that mentality, and what we need to look into is how much money we make, right, out of them, and we need to be more efficient. So with the new interest rates, dynamic interest rates that get applied to all the older cauldrons, there is all this liquidity that can be recycled. So the curve pool doesn't need to be replenished for move the money from one cauldron to another. And my focus right now is to move away from lower earning CDPs to higher earning CDP with the same liquidity. So move from an average of 1.82% to a 4% average of earnings on the protocol and double that. And that can be done very quickly because as soon as this hot fix gets implemented or this upgrade gets implemented, we can recirculate slowly in like a month all the money from one CDP to another, and really improve and double the amount of revenue that we generate today through a very smart way of recirculating the existing liquidity that we have. Because the person that it's in the CDP, it's forced to close that CDP or pay more. So if he pays more, it's fine. Like we have no issue, right? Like we are happy. We're happy for them to pay more. But if they're not willing to pay more, then the liquidity that was there gets bought back in, goes back to the curve pool, and then from the curve pool goes back into new CDP. So we augment the revenues generated by the protocol without the need of pushing or having more rewards or spending more money for that. So that's kind of like target number one, right? Target number two is understanding how we grow this liquidity. So now we decided that we circulate this liquidity from a lower yielding liquidity to a higher yielding liquidity. Then we need to move towards the second step, which, as I mentioned, is how do we make more money now that we optimized the amount of liquidity that we have already. So we make more money. There is a limit on how much money we can make with this current liquidity, but that's what people is willing to pay. Then we move into, I want more money. So I want more liquidity. So I want to open new CDP. I want to grow the amount of magic internet money that is out there. And I wanted to grow it in a way in which is sustainable, it doesn't cost too much, and the spread in between how much I'm paying for this liquidity to exist and how much I'm making is profitable. So I don't want to spend $100,000 for earning $70,000. I want to spend $100,000 to earn $200,000 with the same amount of liquidity, but with different risk. Now, yields suck right now across the board.
Yeah.
Like it's a disaster. Like and no matter how much yield we push through our pools, the investor confidence is very low in general for stable coins. So I felt like it was a good idea to launch something new and launch MIG, which can bring new type of revenues with a good and interesting, funny stories. For example, like the Bitcoin story. So basically, you can deposit WBTC, you can mint MIG, and you can short gold against Bitcoin, which I think it's a cool narrative, it's a cool little thing, and it can generate a good amount of money. Then we can also have a little bit more usage for magic internet money, which is always needs to be like the focus of the protocol, where people can use MIM, and you can mint MIG with the MIM, and also you can have an LP MIM MIG, so dollars gold, which can generate fees, and you can maintain this kind of portfolio style, very conservative portfolio style LP there, which I think it does have an interesting appeal, especially with this market. And we can all build all of this on Curve. Thanks to the Expecto Patronum, we have been able to buy a lot of CRVs after last rage quit. So the CRVs can be put to work into these new LPs on Curve. We can go to these new goals and see what happens, right? And additionally, we can start looking into adding what I call basically a differentiated PSM. So the differentiated PSM, why? Because instead of having a USDC or a USDT PSM like MakerDAO, I'm interested in having a gold PSM. So taking in XAUT, which is basically Tether Gold, and Mint MIG. But as long as there is this relationship in between MIM LP and MIG, there is basically a PSM for both. It's a PSM for gold, it's a PSM for dollars at the same time. But it's much more interesting to have a gold PSM for the reason that it might grow, first of all, and so there is a directionality for the investor that puts it there, but also there is an interesting yield that you can't get anywhere else out of that. So it becomes like a good strategy, starting to use a little bit of brain, starting to expand into new things, and move into new markets for still maintaining like the goals of having more stability for the protocol, more money for the protocol, not spending too much money. Like I don't feel like putting more rewards right now on the meme tree pool is going to do an effect on growing the amount of meme that we can mint. Because at the end of the day, right now, it's like 11-12% is fucking shit anyway. And nobody is really depositing because nobody wants to deposit on Curve anymore. You can see FXS, Frax, that is going. I think it's really bad. I think after the UST collapse, there is going to be the next one to have some issues, and you can tell by their pool also is draining. So no matter how much money you want to pay, like UST was the great example. It's all about like reliability. MIM is reliable, everybody knows. And still everybody is right now, it's a little bit, even USDT depegged. Like meme didn't, like, which is pretty cool. But I mean, like everybody is very conservative right now. So we need to find new ways to maintain the same goals like a PSM, but make it more interesting, more useful, more cool, right? Then we have all the NFT part, which I don't think I have discussed much even in the Abra community. But this is something that I have a lot to do with. And I've been developing and looking into this with the team for quite a while, because I think that the real world market is made of non-fungible assets that can borrow money against, specifically like real estate, yachts, airplanes, cars. All these things are all non-fungible. And the interesting part is, how do you scale a business on the blockchain to be able to interact in the real world? And the NFT project has been really focused on that on the longer term. Of course, there is a value on the shorter term, like Bored Apes and all this stuff that is its own internal economy. But the idea, it's really about how do you leverage technology for making a better user experience for people that want to borrow money against physical assets and non-fungible assets in the real world. And I think we nailed it, because the focus from the beginning was to really look into the regulation and the security tokens. And every NFT, if it represents a real world asset, it is a security at the end of the day. It needs to be treated so. But also there is like a high demand of being able to earn yield without having to do KYC. Like I think that's kind of still the driver of DeFi at the moment. Like instead of having money in the bank, yeah, you can pretty much earn the same money at this point on Curve and in the bank. But in the bank, like the bank can freeze your assets, the bank know how much money you have, and so on. So there is still this component into DeFi and crypto in general of this type of capital that doesn't want to KYC, and we need to respect that if we want to grow. So the design of the system has been thought of to be legal in general, always legal, but maintain this privacy feature of being able to lend money against these assets without needing to KYC. And how to achieve that is basically using specific type of auction, because the only time in which the borrower and lender should be in contact is when there is a problem or a liquidation, right? So if the person is not paying, then theoretically the lender should claim such asset, no,
Right.
and liquidate it and get his money back. But there is a lot of instances in which potentially also in a global market, like if I am lending money against like a real estate in Switzerland and I live in Singapore, there is a lot of logistics and issues and things to be able to claim such asset on another country. And you don't want to have those problems. So the auction system works in a way in which the KYC third parties get to be able to claim such assets and pay directly the lender. So there is no the basically the borrowing and lender in the case of liquidation don't touch each other, and still you get your money back. And I think this kind of system it's never been implemented before, and it's very interesting because there is a project of some guys that I know pretty well that are tokenizing with NFTs, like watches, for example, like cool Patek Philippe and things like that. And that I am looking forward to see that happening, because I would like to see what can you achieve of investing in this kind of different type of assets, and then also being able to borrow money against them, liquidate them, and sell them, and so on. So there is a lot of potential into this product on the longer term, and I think it can be really shining over the next couple of years, especially with the plan that I have in mind with abracadabra, which I will talk about right now. So
yeah, I'm excited for that too. That sounds so exciting.
yeah, thank you. So I think that my mentality in the last year has been always like the family type mentality, like the family run business, and we hustle all together as a family, and this is cool, but it has its own limits, and that limit is that it doesn't really scale on a global level. So what I have in mind for abracadabra, and one of the reasons why I was pushing for the merger, is that scaling is expensive, like, but it's also very rewarding. And I've been looking into the last few weeks on legal side of how to set up the right legal structures for both Wonderland and abracadabra, and how to make all this happen. And it is possible. It is right there. And my dream is like, okay, now I have achieved certain goals in my life, right? I have achieved also before this bull market certain goals in my life in terms of wealth and in terms of like what I wanted to do, right? But there is something that is kind of missing, like the real like corporate scaling environment, which is a new adventure for me. And I feel like the team is ready to move to the next step, to the next level, in which we actually have physical offices if they are needed. We have teams in house. Investor can come in and can see where we are, and it kind of takes the face. We go the opposite way of the Anon way, which has been the Degen way. Yes, why not? Like, we're still Degen at art, but I would love to be able to make our holders know that there is something there. Like, it's not just a bunch of anonymous people doing code and doing cool stuff. Like, come over, like we are here, we're doing stuff, and we have meetings, and we have customers, and we can scale on the business to business level. We can invite the bank, we can invite the real estate developer, we can invite, like, and we're not like, oh, let's go take a coffee because I know that guy that knows that guy, because that's the kind of business that he's doing right now. Like, I'm like, yo, do you know that guy? Yeah, I know that guy that knows that guy. And then we go to a meeting in a coffee, take a coffee, whatever, and explain the stuff, and they're interesting or whatever. But I think this thing doesn't scale, right? So I really want to scale the business as a traditional business, because as we go out of this mentality of just the crypto, and we have developed this platform for NFTs that can tokenize real world assets, we can really expand into making very, very, very interesting business models in the real world. Like, we can really be big. Like, I don't see why I shouldn't aim to be much, much bigger as the market of DeFi shrinks, because that's the reality. Like, it's becoming smaller by the day. The market worldwide for borrowing and lending isn't. And every day there is some tech startup, fintech startup, or something that comes out and is worth billions of dollars without even generating close to the revenue that we are doing today, without having half of the tech that we are doing today. And just because we are confined to this stigma of DeFi, crypto, and all this kind of stuff, like it's just money laundering, it's a lot of anons that are criminals and things like that, that doesn't really help on the valuation of what we have built, and doesn't give justice to the value that we are building on a daily basis. So I think that it's really time for going out there and show the world that actually a bunch of anons and a bunch of dudes collectively put themselves together. They made a community, a beautiful community. They made fucking insane tech. They believe in it. They're making money. It's a profitable business, and we can go take over other businesses that are not as profitable as us, and we can really fucking do a good job, and we can do it better. And I really think that that's the kind of feeling, like that's the direction we have to aim for. And looking into that, there is a few ways in which we can really do this. And I've heard a lot of people that are very attached to the Wonderland brand, and this I understand. And they're like, yo, but if we do the merger, then Wonderland dies, like disappears, the rage quit. So first of all, I want everybody to know that I'm against the rage quit. I am pro any type of like quarterly redeem or whatever like that. I think it's not stupid. I think it's a good idea. We have discussed this already, and I think it's how it should be. But I am against the idea of like, we either take spell or you quit. Like one or another. Like, I don't think this should be the case. I think we should have multiple variables. Like, those variables needs to be different. Like, if we're gonna go towards a proposal, of course, needs to detail very much what is the benefits and everything. But this, we can talk about it today more and more. But in general, it needs to be written well. And I have the help of the team that is helping me out on doing this, because everybody know I'm the worst administrator on planet Earth, and I'm also the worst writer on planet Earth. So I'm not very good in writing down all this proposal stuff and everything. but I know what I want. So the situation is, we have multiple ways to do this. One way is we just merge. Like, that means it's one token to rule them all, which I think is super cool. And instantly gets, basically all the token holders are listed everywhere in the world. And we merge the protocols. It has a treasury. It has the value add of the abracadabra. And it reprices, basically. It's a whole new entity. An entity that has still the VC investments, the treasury manager, has everything just like now, but in addition, it has all the abracadabra products and the future of abracadabra. So this is option number one. And everything continues as it is. but with a focus on using part of the treasury to really improve the value of the underlying token by making it gain directionality. The case number 2 is we come up with a number. That number is what we are willing or interested on raising for receiving to make all the things that we want to make. That being, I don't know, 10 million, 50 million, 80 million, 100. I need to come up with a number based on the goals that we have and what we think to do. And we propose to a better deal, a deal to purchase that large amount of spell that nobody else could purchase exclusively for Wonderland to hold. That's the second, I think, option.
Mm-hmm.
The third option is we just don't do it. Like nobody wants to do it, they're not interested, and so on. Then there is nothing happened there. The fourth one is what some people were saying. It's like, oh, you either come to spell or you go and rage quit and you take your money back because the experiment is over. So these are kind of like what I see the possibilities. I think the best ones are the first and the second, but of course I'm open to also. I would love the community to ping me on Discord. I'm almost working there, and I would like more active, if it's possible, a little bit more active conversation. Like always saying like, yo, this is stupid, or you shouldn't do that, or shouldn't, without actually looking at the products, without looking at the market, or having an actual idea what is happening. Like, I feel like it's really decremental for the community. I would like to see more meaningful conversation around this stuff. And I've seen today some people saying things, and it was very good, and I'm very happy about that. And I don't have all the answer all the time, and many times I just look and work in your things, and I pick up ideas from you, and I try to implement them. So I think that this is very important. But the reality is that with the capital, like Spell has no emissions anymore, has no more down pressure, has only revenue to be generated. And if we purchase, we can lock now the CRVs, so we can literally buy the CRV at a discount. We are worth more than Convex just by default. And we actually use those emissions for ourselves. We have so many products to be able to do, and we don't need to just buy Curve. Right now, Curve is a discount in front of what it was before. So it might go in even more discount. So we can really own a big chunk of that protocol just for the mission side forever, and still have $200+ million for making other stuff, like maybe do a budget and say, okay, we're going to spend $5 million hiring 5 new devs, getting an office, getting 5 people for business development, rebranding everything with the best brand agency in the world, and make everything look fucking insane, and give a new light for the whole protocol, and really manage it like it's an Apple, instead of being like the restaurant Peppina Roma, like I am, because at the end I'm guilty of this. Like I have good idea. The pizza is fucking good, but maybe it's time to build a McDonald's rather than the pizzeria of the block. Like that's the kind of aims in life, and I'm aiming a little bit bigger now in life. After all these months of really thinking what I want, this is really what I would love the community to support me doing, because this is what I want to dedicate my life to do. And this is my opportunity to leave a mark and really build something big. And I don't want to lose it. Like, I really want to do it. And that's why I'm doing these calls and stuff, and why I'm here. So, yeah.
Well, we really appreciate you coming here and kind of giving us a glimpse into your thoughts about it all.
Yeah. So if someone wants to, we can take like 3-4 questions. Huh? Get a little bit feedback.
Stage moderators, if you want to call someone up, if anyone wants to raise their hand from the audience. Welcome.
Hello.
Hello, welcome.
Oh,
Hello, can you hear me?
yep, we can hear you.
All right. Danny, my first question is about, as a holder of memo, I would like to think how this merge can actually bring new value and increase the price of our holdings. Because as I see now, Abracadabra is a very large protocol. And when merged, all profits are probably going to be distributed amongst all holders even more. So, how does your vision contributes to the Wonderland as an investment? So this is my question.
Yeah, so we need to think the two scenarios that I care the most about to reply to your question. So in scenario number one is a full merger. So I've been thinking a little bit about how to make it more appealing, right? And even more appealing than what it is. And of course, you want to gain directionality. So I think that by having access to such capital, directionality will come towards us. So we want to have a multiplier, right, on the securing the investment at the lower price and going up with the spell value. But also, I was thinking about why you invested in Wonderland, and I think we can create like a preferred type share. So basically, the deployment of the treasury, the whole deployment of the treasury, will be for a time frame, so like a year or something like that. The revenues generated exclusively distributed to Wonderland converting holders. That's one idea that they had in mind. The other one, of course, you're just an investor. So you purchase, you have S spell or M spell, depending what we decide. But I think compounding is always better. So S spell, and you receive the APR from the protocol, and it just grows inside of the value of the backing of WMemo, right? Does that make sense for you?
Yeah, it makes sense. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, who else do we have? Can we pull someone else up for the next question? Hello.
Hello.
Welcome.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Yeah, good. Danny, hope you're doing well. I just had COVID as well. My voice is coming back today well. Yeah. So I wanted to ask, so where does Popsicle fall into all this, the Wonderland plus spell? Where does Popsicle fall into it?
Yeah, so first, before saying anything, like as I understood, in within 2 weeks, it's launching Sorbetto Limone, and it should be there in a couple of weeks. So first, he needs to launch his own product, and then I think that it should be also acquired into the wall. Like it should be one token to rule them all. How to do it? It needs to be a little bit taught, I think. Like I'm not 100% sure right now, but it's something that I will be start working on in the next weeks.
Okay, that's good. But I just wanted to let you know that Berachain fixes all this.
What? What fixes all this?
Berachain fixes all this.
Berachain?
Yeah.
I have no idea what that is. Sorry, bro.
So when you find out, you will know that this is the solution to all your problems.
Well, they give me all the money, sir. So why am I here?
So if you hit up the right people, they'll inform you what Berachain is, and you will know that this is the solution to all the problems.
All right. Thank you very much.
No worries, man.
Have a nice day.
Right, let's see if someone else wants to come up now.
Hey, Danny.
Hello.
Hear me?
Hello, sir.
Hello. First of all, I'm a big fan. I am invested in all your projects like wmemo and Spell. Hello?
Thank you for holding up, sir. Hard times.
Yeah. I have some questions. My first question is, do you need a summer intern?
What? Excuse me. What was that?
Do you need a summer intern?
Are you German?
I am from Germany and Italy. My parents are from Italy, but I was born in Germany.
Well, we definitely looking to expand our teams if we do all this what I mentioned. So why not? Why not?
Well, that would be nice, yeah. And my other question is like, yeah. Do you think that you want like do one token for all your projects? Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
So for Ice and Spell and vmemo, like a big governance token. Okay. And I forgot my question. So
I think I tell you what I see.
yeah.
So I think Popsicle is similar to Yearn. It can become similar to Yearn.
Yeah.
And by leveraging both LPing and so Sorbetto Fragola, Sorbetto Limone, and the Degen box, we can be a much better Yearn. And Abracadabra is the lending, the bank. Like it gets access to capital. So it's always like a winning kind of bet. And Wonderland becomes the investment arm, the VC that it never backed us, like the frog VC, because we are all frogs, right? So so
it's
that
like a
becomes,
triangle.
instead of having the ecosystem that kind of failed.
Okay.
Like I think that we can have one single entity that rules them all, right?
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. And yeah, one day the frogs will win.
I want to address the UST thing, by the way. Like that's something that the community wanted to know. So just to make sure and make it very clear, 2 days before I made the purchase of UST, I take all the blame. I'm not like in the blame fucking game. I made the call to buy it. So 2 days before, Skyhopper come to me and they say like, I want to buy at least 25 million or more USD and I want to put it on Anchor. And I said, nah, I don't know. I don't feel very comfortable about it, but if that's what you want, whatever, fine. So then he was asleep and all the thing was unfolding and there is like a 5% plus fee, which is not bad, into liquidation on Abracadabra. And I was seeing other people doing liquidations because like we did like 50 mil of liquidation, but there has been liquidated like $700 million worth. So let's put things in context. And I was like, yo, I think we can get this USD for Skyhopper that he wanted, and if we buy them for cheaper, then whatever, we still have the margin of the 5%, and when it comes online, we can either sell it or we can decide to hold it or we can do whatever we want with it. But we bought it much cheaper than anybody else. So then I bought it and it came online, and then we said, okay, we're gonna sell this. What do you think? Are we gonna sell it now? It's a 92. It's at profit, and 93. We are a profitable trade, and we were together in a call, and we decided to sell about 35 or 40% of the USD that we bought and keep some other. Then he went to sleep, and I wrote to him like maybe we should sell more, but he was sleeping. It happens, like we are all humans, and then it went back collapsing, and it was kind of like pain in the ass. But that's kind of the situation. But we would have lost much more money if we had the USD from the beginning, because was for sure a net loss. It never came to one. So when we purchased, we had the opportunity to make a good trade, but unfortunately, it didn't come all as intended, and we have lost a little bit of money, not too much, like in general terms. But yeah, it's sad, but that's what it is. Like the opportunity was worth it. That's what I wanted to explain. Pretty fucking simple. And all the FUD and everything, whatever. Like, the treasury manager, like I'm also co-managing this treasury. Is not just like I put my input and my ideas. Of course, the last word should go to the treasury manager. But I mean, I expect to have some influence around here. Like, I'm not the last of the chariot. Like, I'm not the last that came to Wonderland and pretends to have a little bit of voice. That's what I feel like. So, and yeah, that's it. That's all I have to say. I think if you want to hit me up on the chat, I will be around. And I wish you all a great weekend.
Thank you so much. You as well. Much 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 you as well.